Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. Something that I'm actually seeing is breaking news because never thought I would be talking about this, never thought this would happen, but hey, it couldn't happen to a nicer website. I kind of wonder when you don't really like both parties, who do you really root for? But here we go. Apparently, Bobby Kotick files defamation lawsuits against media outlets over discrimination comments, one of which I believe is Kotaku. My goodness. Kind of makes you wonder. I wonder who may have written an article saying something nasty about Bobby Kotick. Actually, I think everybody was doing that. Anyway, Bobby Kotick, former CEO of Activision Blizzard, has filed a lawsuit in Delaware against GNO Media, naming Kotaku and Gizmodo specifically. Oh, it couldn't happen to a nicer website. The suit complains that both outlets attempted to smear Kotick by, quote, going out of their way. Say it ain't so. Kotaku, they would never do such a thing. Am I laying the sarcasm on thick enough, ladies and gentlemen? The suit complains that both outlets attempted to smear, I read that already, to besmirch his name. He has, Bobby does have such a squeaky clean, golden name, doesn't he? Of course he does, folks. Who would ever besmirch such a man's name? Mentioning false, withdrawn allegations. Oh, that was a whole bunch of stories going on about him, but let's keep going. Allegations of discrimination and workplace harassment. It was claimed by Kotick that articles were penned with the malicious. Again, how can you say something? I thought Kotaku is such a, what's the word I'm looking for? A reputable name in the video game journalist environment. Claimed Kotick that articles were penned with a malicious purpose of causing further harm to his name. I mean, can you really cause further harm to Bobby's name? Which was, at the time, already considerably tarnished. No, folks, I did not read this article. You know what I do. I read the article and I respond to them. I react to them live when I'm recording. Yeah, already considerably tarnished. Insider, hey, Grant, might want to be careful. You don't want to get in on that lawsuit. Delaware suit filed by Bobby Kotick, who has got more money than he knows what to do with, is pretty basic on the surface, but details of the complaint were obtained and published by Courthouse News Service on March 13th. The complaint from Kotick reads, neither article had anything to do with Activision. Both were about rumors that Kotick was interested in buying TikTok. Huh? Oh, you mean this could be a case of Kotaku writing an article and then putting in their personal, sometimes political biases into the story and then turning the story into absolutely nothing that had to do with the original title or article. They don't do that, do they? Of course not. Why would they do such a thing? Yet Kotaku and Gizmodo went out of their way to include withdrawn false allegations relating to workplace issues, which GNO Media knew had been conclusively disproven by numerous investigations purely for the malicious purposes of causing further harm to Kotick. We've seen this numerous times before, more recently specifically from IGN, when they went after the studio that did Black Myth Wukong, constantly with the mistranslated and perhaps overblown accusations of my misogyny and sexism in the studio when invited to check out the game, borderline harassment of the studio, constantly asking questions and writing one article after another. So Kotaku is, you know, I would think I do believe they're guilty of doing the same thing. Journalism for the sake of, I don't know, getting those hate clicks, getting those views, writing an article that, you know, all of a sudden halfway through the article, it changes what on earth they're talking about. The articles in question were reports published by Kotaku and Gizmodo about the claim that Bobby Kotick was part of a cabal looking to acquire TikTok in the United States. Now, what exactly is wrong with that? For reference, I also covered these claims, but I neglected to insult the man. I mean, everyone else was busy doing that for you. Insult the man or bring up his troubled past. Well, mostly because that probably didn't have anything to do with the article. You know, Insider, what's the guy's name? I forgot it. I do. I'm sorry. Grant, that just makes you a better journalist than, well, anybody at Kotaku. especially when you have the likes of Elizabeth Mercante writing for that rag. If you're going to write about an acquisition or a story, maybe perhaps stick to the story. Stop making every single solitary thing you do some sort of op-ed to get clout, get little pats on the back from everybody else in your industry, and just stick to the information. If you're going to write about, oh, here's an example, let's write about the most recent the next-gen consoles that are coming out, Xbox Series S and Series X, and maybe perhaps stay away from the political nonsense of blaming Orange Man bad when you're supposed to be talking about a console. You are a video game website. Stay in your lane. You're supposed to be talking about video games, not political climates. But whatever. Courthouse News Services noted that Kotaku... Oh, I skipped that. It's probably why I'm not being sued. Where did I skip? Neglected to insult the man or bring up his troubled past at Activision Blizzard, aside from mentioning what employees were saying about him on social media. Even that's borderline bias. But that's probably why I'm not getting sued. Yeah, more than likely, stick to the facts. Stick to the information on the article that you're writing, on the topic that you're writing, instead of branching out all over the place and putting in, again, your own personal biases because, well, you want to make it into the political spectrum of journalism. Stop using video games as some sort of stepping stone. That's another issue. All these journalists, they try to get into video games as some sort of stepping stone to get into CNN, MSNBC, or the more politically oriented journalist websites. They don't like video games. They do not like gamers. The customers, the people that are going to get you the clicks for your article, to get you that fame and fortune to move forward. They can't stand the entire gaming atmosphere, the demographic, the people who are buying the games. And it shows time and time and time again in their writing. Gamers has become such a naughty, naughty word, except for the lovely individuals on social media using gamers as some sort of tagline to, I don't know, tease that little algorithm to get all the clicks. But whatever. All these journalists do, they come out, they have no love, no passion for what they're supposed to be writing on. It shows in their writing. And now, well, normal schmucks like me are actually getting more attention, and those far better at this than I am, getting far, far more attention than these so-called journalists, jacktivists half the time, websites will ever dream of getting again. Courthouse News Services noted that Kotaku and Gizmodo updated their articles to remove more negative terminology, but Kotick insists that, as a general rule, they're still mischaracterizing him, and he's seeking damages. Stay tuned to see how this unfolds. The day that Bobby Kotick going after journalist websites, should these big names do this more often? Does he have a leg to stand on? I mean, Bobby is a CEO, former CEO of Activision Blizzard. He is a public figure in the public eye. Can he take them to task, or is this just something to bring out into the light? Like Grant says, we will be keeping an eye on this. I'm sure more information will come out sooner rather than later, but stay tuned to see. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike to all those nifty little things us YouTubers beg you to do. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.